Hi there. I'm back with a little longer tour and hopefully better tour of the studio space. This is Don's area, and those are two of his, I guess, probably six or seven guitars. His big boys and a vintage phone. The big old Mexico sombrero he found as we were driving across the country, and that's from closing night of Escape to Margaritaville, his final bow. A vintage cowboy lamp. It's really quite wonderful. And a vintage cowboy pen holder. That ship was my dad's. Roy Rogers and Dale Evans in that picture. And his hat from Escape to Margaritaville. That's me with some horses that live locally. Big old overstuffed chair from the 40s. We've had it since we first moved in together in San Diego. Wallace Nutting prints. And a beautiful vintage Japanese print that Don found when we were first dating. Dove Cottage, the dollhouse I found at the local dump that I rehabbed and restored. A picture from the set of Spoiler Alert, that's me as Sally Field, Jim Parsons, and Ben Aldridge. A vintage sheet music cabinet. Cigar boxes that Don collects. Plants. A bulletin board. That's from the back of my chair on the set of the movie. This is a beautiful old French cabinet that is in Art Nouveau in style. It's made of oak and it's very heavy. Vintage cameras, more vintage cameras, more plants. Oh gosh, guitars, ukuleles, mandolins, vintage typewriter, amps, all that kind of stuff. The lamb with the party hat, the symbol of my blog. And the Beacon Hill, which I have been avoiding. And every day I feel guilty about it. I need to get moving on this project. My easel for oil painting. A work table, which also is a built-in sewing machine table. This is my little area. I really love it. It makes me happy whenever unless it's really messy, it makes me very happy. That's an Utz potato chip can that I use as a trash can. That's a beautiful vintage fire screen. And this cabinet is just full of treasures. On top are my dolls, my baby dolls that I've collected, including that Shirley Temple on the left, which was my mom's, and my bride and groom cake toppers. This is a lot of Roseville pottery. More pottery, McCoy mostly here. That doll was made by my friend Doug James. He sells it. It's made of bisque. Vintage by Crystal figurines that you'll see everywhere. Books and magazines I've been published in. A lottery boxes, my dad's nameplate from his old job. Vintage glove boxes, and my favorite Roseville pattern, which is called Cherry Blossom. Took me a long time to find that. Over here we have my fashion dolls. These two are Elowen Wilds. They're made by Robert Tonner, who lives not far from me, and that's a vintage Elowen outfit on the right. Here we have my Jean Marshalls. Jean Marshall is designed by Mel Odom, supposed to be a movie star of the 40s and 50s, so her clothing designs reflect that. This one with the beautiful gown that we're looking at there has her hair in a snood, which I cannot tell you how much I love. This one on the left, that outfit, is designed by my friend Doug, who designed for Mel off and on for 3 or 4 years. This is my desk. Lots of tchotchkes. These are my vintage putt sheep parading across this mantle. A vintage display for Scotch tape. I really love it. And there's some oil paintings I've done and some family pictures. That brooch right in that shadow box was given to me by my brother, and he died in 1991. A vintage Necco candy jar, display jar. Paintbrushes, tools, screwdrivers, glue. And here is the Beacon Hill taunting me. When you get a house that needs to be restored, unless you want to take it all apart again, there are difficult decisions to make, like these stairs. I would love them to be lighter in color, but they're going to have to stay dark. So I think I'm going to have to do something with the walls that lightens up that whole area. These are 2 or 3 pieces that I got at auction, inspiration pieces for the living room. Quite pretty. Down below, storage of all kinds, but mostly stuff for painting, oil painting, and for doll repair. Back to the table. And a trolley, the ubiquitous IKEA trolley that everyone has. And there we go. It's a beautiful room, and I'm really happy with it. And thank you so much for joining me.